We didn't tell the story of Job completely. We missed one man. We have emphasized the story of Job so much, we only look at his three friends, Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar. And we completely forget one man who laid the foundation for God's speech. Don't scroll yet. Let me paint the scene for you. Job has lost everything. His children, his wealth, his health. He's sitting in ashes, scraping his sores with broken pottery. And for 37 chapters, we hear a cycle of arguments. Job cries out in his pain. Eliphaz speaks, accusing Job of hidden sin. Job defends himself. Bildad speaks, repeating tradition. Job defends himself. Zophar speaks, arrogant and harsh. Job defends himself. Round and round, pain, accusation, defense, and through all of this, God is silent. Completely silent. When Job spoke, God ignored him. When Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar spoke, Job counted them. No one was getting through. No one was breaking the cycle. But then, one man spoke, and God intervened. Who is this man? His name is Elihu. He is the son of Barachel the Buzite, of the kindred of Ram. It wasn't stated in the beginning. He wasn't introduced when the story started. But he appeared at the end. Where did he come from? That's a question I'll leave for you to discover. But here's what we do know. Elihu was young, much younger than Job and the three friends. Been sitting in the background this whole time, listening, waiting, respecting his elders. But when he saw that the three friends had no answer and that Job, despite his righteousness, was speaking out of arrogance and self-justification, Elihu could no longer stay silent. He started by respectfully suggesting to speak. He didn't barge in, didn't mock, asked for permission to share what was burning in his heart. He made bold claims that made even a man like Job listen. Don't forget, at the time of Job, he was most revered. He was the greatest man in the East. People traveled from far to hear his wisdom. And yet, this young man, this nobody from nowhere, spoke with such clarity and authority that Job stopped defending himself and just listened. Elihu did something remarkable. He condemned the reply of the three friends because they had misrepresented God. But he also pointed out the mistakes of Job, things Job couldn't see in himself. You see, Job had become so consumed with his own suffering that he started to think God was unjust. He didn't deny God, but he questioned his character, and Elihu, with gentleness and boldness, corrected that. Elihu's words led to the first speech from God after the horrendous events Job experienced. God didn't speak to Job until Elihu finished speaking. Think about that. For 37 chapters, God was silent. But the moment Elihu spoke, the moment he corrected Job's heart, humbled the friends, and pointed everyone back to the majesty of God, the heavens opened. Elihu's words corresponded to God's precepts of what a righteous man on earth should be, and it opened the window to God's influence in Job's situation. God lifted a man who wasn't up to par, a young man with no reputation, and made him speak words of wisdom that made Job and his friends listen carefully. So let me leave you with this. When you are pricked with difficulty in life, when you're sitting in your own ashes, confused, hurt, and wondering if God even hears you, whose voice do you listen to? Do you listen to the friends who accuse you? Do you listen to your own pain that makes you question God's character? Or do you listen for the Elihu, the humble, bold voice that speaks truth in love, corrects without condemning, the voice that doesn't just tell you what you want to hear, but tells you what you need to hear? Because sometimes that voice is the difference between silence and breakthrough. Find your Elihu. And if you can't find one, be one. Follow for more.